Good day, my name is Blue Suit and today I'll be going over my review of the medieval city management stealth survival and defense RPG known as Siege Survival Gloria Victis. Siege Survival Gloria Victis is based on the Gloria Victis MMORPG universe that started back in 2016. In that game, you're waging huge battles against other players and often sieging castles. Siege Survival, on the other hand, is a story-driven title about one such siege in which a group of civilians band together to support a nearly defeated army and all of the physical and psychological tolls that come with it. The game begins with your medieval English town being ransacked by a vicious band of sea warriors known as the Izmirs. In one fell swoop, they decimate your defending soldiers and lay waste to the lands beyond your keep. You play as Flint, a peasant worker who was fortunate enough to survive the initial onslaught and is now alone inside the castle walls with a monstrous army held at bay by only a handful of half-starved and poorly equipped soldiers. The war isn't over yet, however, as Flint forages for supplies, repairs army weapons, and finds survivors in a desperate attempt to re-secure your homeland and save as many of your countrymen as you can. The story in Siege Survival Gloria Victis is really my favorite part of the whole game, as it instead focuses on the civilian experience of war rather than the actual frontline combat, not unlike 2014's This War of Mine. The entire story is told through hand-drawn pictures and dialogue, but it still managed to garner a strong emotional response when I'd find a woman being attacked by invaders in the night, or a man clutching a child's toy to his chest knowing that he just lost his family. These small interactions have a great deal of depth to the story while also changing its direction by giving me new side quests or the hope of potentially gaining a new ally. When you are able to recruit someone, your capabilities in camp change drastically. There is the downside that you now have to feed and water an additional mouth, but having a few extra sets of helping hands will allow you to survive a lot easier than just having Flint on his own. The majority of your time in Siege Survival Gloria Victis will be spent in the keep during the day. Here you can build gardens, workshops, weapon and armor repair facilities, cooking areas, and much more to not only keep your people alive, but to also send supplies to the Bastion to make sure that your army has their bellies full and their axes sharp. It's a difficult thing to manage, especially in the early game where supplies and helping hands are pretty scarce. The actual building mechanics themselves are a bit different in Siege Survival, because while it is possible to become self-sufficient, it takes a lot of skill and time to do so. You're really meant to survive based on how well you manage your community and how well you can sneak off at nights to scavenge for goods. Every single night you will have the option to send someone off into the night to scavenge for goods and avoid detection by the dangerous Izmirs. If you do choose to send someone, the game becomes a stealth-based RTS while you're skulking around and there's loads of places to check for goods to haul back to the keep. In addition to all the useful loot lying around, there are also lots of events scattered around the city that you can find. Each one will give the player a series of dialogue choices to make and then will reward or punish you based on your actions. Each one felt meaningful, not only to the story and world building, but also in the rewards. Some give you useful items to craft and repair things back at base, and others would even reward you with a new playable character. The Izmirs themselves aren't really as intimidating as I felt they should have been at night though. I spent a lot of time being extra careful, and when one of them eventually spotted me, I found out that they really can't even catch you even if you are seen. All you need to do is just run away from them until they get bored of chasing you, or you just run back to the keep if you're done scavenging for the night. The last thing that I wanted to talk about that I really liked about Siege Survival Gloria Victis are all of the different game modes. Beyond the different main scenario modes, there's also challenges that let players focus on which aspects of the game they like the most, like just doing nightly scavenging or only handling Bastion support. Then there's New Game Plus mode that allows you to change the difficulty settings to whatever you want and even start the game with up to 4 previously unlocked characters. And if that wasn't enough, Siege Survival even features custom game scenarios, which are player-made games that can be downloaded from the Steam Workshop. These custom game modes really serve to give Siege Survival a ton of replayability and let players focus on the aspects of the game that appeal to them the most. You can pick up Siege Survival Gloria Victis on Steam, Epic, and GOG when it launches on May 18th, 2021. It's a dark, almost depressing take on civilian life during a medieval siege, with a host of characters desperately trying to survive as their backs are pressed to the wall and their mettle is tested. It features difficult survival and resource management mechanics and solid exploration with good longevity and replayability. So I'm valuing Siege Survival Gloria Victis at $25, and I'm excited to see what other unique ideas are up next for the Gloria Victis universe. I hope you enjoyed this review of Siege Survival Gloria Victis. Come see me on Twitch where you can watch our reviews in progress 5 nights a week. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Until next time, peace!